Morning, everybody. Dr. Strother here. Just wanted to give you a quick rundown video of um, this will be for Principles of Finance Online 5143. So I told you I'd try to send you out a quick video of kind of the way that we're gonna be going through work for this class. This is the second time that we've used this curriculum from McGraw-Hill, and so I know I've had a few questions stream in this week about how all that will work or how the textbook fits and everything or is implemented. And as you can see, it is one of those things where it's integrated through the course. So you're gonna, need to go about getting access to it. But I thought for starters, just kind of go over the course material. I always like to do videos for my online classes because it gives us a chance to go over the things that um, makes it feel a little more personal. So first, you'll see we'll have some announcements getting posted throughout this course. I've got a change log. When things come up that need adjusted or changed, oftentimes instead of just reaching out to everybody, Canvas does a pretty good job now of notifying when things happen. If, for instance, we were to change a time limit for a quiz due this week or something, it usually sends you a notification. But um, anyway, all that being said, that's where I'll put this information here. So the material itself is actually a corporate finance textbook. So corporate finance, tends to lean a little bit more heavily on really the question in finance is value, um, how do you value things, right? How do you value things at the corporate level? Would look at a little bit more of a detailed or in-depth dive into the methods of valuation that we can use to figure out, what a company is worth. And so if you look just kind of through our table of contents here, you'll see, first we'll kind of go through the introduction, which you guys have started on, answered a few questions about. There's always the question of like, what does it mean to be talking about financial decisions from the corporate level? I always say, at that point, we need to dive into what is a corporation and why does it exist? And so the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, defines kind of the goal of a corporation is to find profitable solutions to problems of people and planet. I love that definition because it gives us an understanding that corporations are here to engage um, in the problem solving pathways, right? Like there are problems in our world and good businesses solve them. And so that being said, though, there's also a need for profit. We wake up in the morning. I'm sure you are all are going to go, you're going to college to invest in yourself so that you can profit from that, right? It's an investment in yourself. In the same way, when you have work, you go to work with the desire and the need for profit. And so corporations are the same way, right? They are entities that do that. And so that's kind of like big core idea for chapter one. Then we'll start flowing into looking at the time value of money and the implications of that. That's what chapter two is really about, right? Looking at present values, future values. Sometimes you try to understand the potential for future values of things by looking at their future value and starting with their present value. And then every once in a while, we'll do a calculation where you go back, um, words in the process and we call it discount to figure out the net present value of things. And so that'll be down the line as well. But in the meantime, then you also need to understand how these different investment vehicles work, like bonds, stocks, the idea of risk and return. We've got some different types of core principles that we use in finance to figure out just how companies can project out capital assets, make decisions that will outlay into the future. And so hopefully, by the end of this class, and I'm not necessarily saying that we're going to dive into these deeper concepts much in the later chapters, but much of this class, right, is a goal of trying to help you understand holistically what finance is and how it works. And so I'm here for you. I'd love to answer your questions as we get going in the course. I see the discussion is already kicked off, and you guys have done a good job with that. Um, I don't think this is any of yours first online master's level class, right? So please make sure to comment on each other's work when asked. Every professor is a little different with how we want you to communicate with us. Personally, I actually I don't check my email during weekends or even weeknights. I will check it occasionally, every day or so at work. But there are times when it's 2 or 3 days for me to respond to a student. And so that's just not good enough for the back and forth that you probably need in this class. And so that's when I say, you know what, honestly, just send me a text message because then I know I'm going to see it. I feel good about responding to you in a timely manner. You feel good about getting a response. You can move on, finish the coursework, and everyone's kind of happy with that. So I would recommend if you have questions, just send me a short text message to my cell phone. Um, and yeah, as we get going, let me know if there's any issues with curriculum. Like I said, this is the second time I've done this course. So with this curriculum, I've taught principles of finance probably 10 or 12 times. Had used my own curriculum for most of those times, and my emphasis is actually on applied microeconomics. So I tend to focus more on personal finance. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm a financial planner across the street from HLG at Benson Financial Group. So that it all still applies, and obviously we have to know quite a bit about how companies work and how investments and finance flows at all levels. And I've taught this class about as many times as any other class at HLG. So feel really confident that you guys are going to get what you need out of it. And it is one of those things where you do the work, you pay attention to the instructions, you follow syllabi, you follow rubric, you're probably going to do okay. Every course has, or every week has, your typical module, your assignment, and your quiz. And I will say the quizzes are pretty hard, right? So a lot of times it helps to, when you get to the quiz module, review just one last time. It'll kind of highlight some ideas in the text that should help you as you turn those on. All right, y'all. Well, nice. Hopefully you're having a nice start to the semester, and we'll be in touch. Thank you.